I'm Muhammed Hamdan and this is Nightline, news making the headlines. Ministries and government agencies' overseas trips now require ministerial approval. GISBH teachings declared as deviant in Fatwa. Also, Zionist regime carries out more targeted strike on Beirut. Good morning. Lebanon's health ministry on Friday said at least 8 people have been killed and 59 wounded in a Zionist air attack on a southern suburb of Beirut. According to the national news agency, at least 5 children were among the casualties from the attack on a building in Jammu Street. The agency said that an F-35 jet hit the residential area with 2 attacks. The Zionist military meanwhile said it carried out a targeted strike in the Lebanese capital, claiming to have hit near key Hezbollah facilities in Dahiyah. It appeared to be one of the most extensive Zionist attacks in southern Lebanon since the two sides started trading fire 11 months ago, with Hezbollah claiming its rocket attacks on northern Israel as support for its allies Hamas and the Palestinian people. The strike also comes 2 days after a wide-ranging attack across Lebanon that targeted walkie-talkies and pagers, injuring more than 3,000 people and left at least 42 others dead. Meanwhile, Taiwan's economy minister on Friday said the components used in thousands of pagers that detonated in Lebanon earlier this week were not made in Taiwan.
The government has said it is investigating what happened and that police have made several visits to the company believed to have manufactured the devices. According to Taiwan-based Gold Apollo, it did not produce any of the devices used in the attack and that they were made by a Budapest-based company, BAC, which has a license to use its brand. The president and founder of Gold Apollo, as well as his local contact for the deal with BAC, were questioned by prosecutors late into the night on Thursday. The prosecutor's office in Taipei's Shinlin district said they will now clarify the facts as soon as possible, such as whether the Taiwanese companies are involved or not. Earlier, it was reported that Israel had inserted explosive material into a shipment of pagers from Taiwan's Gold Apollo, citing American and other anonymous officials. However, questions and speculation continue to swirl over where the devices came from after hundreds of pagers and walkie-talkies detonated across Lebanon on Tuesday and Wednesday, killing at least 37 people and wounding nearly 3,000.
In the meantime, back home, Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim condemned the recent attacks in Lebanon that involved the use of communication devices as explosives, which were believed to have been orchestrated by Israel, resulting in the deaths and injuries of civilians, including women and children.
Mengutuk serangan biadab berbekalan dari Israel menggunakan pager dan maknanya seluruh rakyat yang memakainya akan terkesan paling tidak berperi kemanusiaan. Dia bukan pasukan tentera dan sebagainya, wanita, anak-anak. Jadi kita telah bantah keras.
Separately, the Defence Ministry MINDEF is still awaiting an official report regarding the incident involving an attack by civilians on the vehicles of the Malaysian Peacekeeping Battalion, Malbat 85011 in Lebanon. Its Minister Datuk Seri Muhammad Khalid Nordin confirmed that members of the team who are under the United Nations Interim Force in Lebanon, UNIFIL, are safe and did not sustain any injuries.
The incident occurred on Wednesday at 5:32 p.m. local time, involving 3 officers and 7 other personnel who were returning to Marka camp after completing an assignment at Shama camp UNIFIL headquarters. While the team was travelling along Test Road Burj Al Qibli in the city of Tyre, a traffic congestion occurred and a group of about 30 civilians suddenly acted aggressively, attempting to stop the 2 Malbat vehicles. The mob threw stones and slashed the tyres of both vehicles using sharp objects. However, the aggressive action ceased after the Malbat officers informed the residents that they were part of the Malaysian forces.
Dan memang di kawasan itu penduduk-penduduk memang sangat hostile kepada pasukan Malbat daripada pasukan International Unifil yang dikelolakan oleh Itali. Jadi apabila diberitahu bahawa kita datang daripada Malaysia, maka tindakan-tindakan itu diberhentikan.
Khalid added that following this incident, the Malbat peacekeepers may consider placing the Malaysian flag on vehicles involved in missions in Lebanon. He also advised all Malbat officers and personnel in the country to exercise extra caution.
Speaking on another matter, all projects, trips and tasks abroad must be referred to their respective ministry secretaries general and department heads before being approved by the ministers. The Prime Minister stated that the decision applies to all government ministries, companies and agencies.
Dalam mesyuarat Jemaah Menteri, kita lebih tegas menuntut semua syarikat-syarikat agensi kerajaan walaupun lembaga berkuasa, tetapi kadang-kadang lembaga buat keputusan yang memihak kepada kepentingan mereka. Oleh itu, semua projek-projek baru, lawatan ke luar negara mesti dirujuk kepada ketua setiausaha atau ketua pengarah.
Anwar, who is also the finance minister, called on civil servants to be more responsible in preventing wasteful spending, particularly when it involves public funds. As a clear message of the government's firmness on the matter, he said he had personally cancelled an upcoming overseas trip to attend a small exhibition in Berlin, Germany, involving 68 civil servants. He pointed out that the trip was cancelled to curb unnecessary public spending, as the task only requires a small number of participants.
Jadi saya ambil satu keputusan yang tegas, membatalkan seluruh lawatan itu walaupun tiket penerbangan dan hotel telah disediakan. Ini sebagai mesej jelas, ya. Kita bercakap soal reform.
Commenting further, Anwar said all ministries are responsible for any approvals given. He added, as part of the government's cost-cutting measures, ministers who wish to visit any country must submit a proposal to the cabinet for evaluation to determine whether it is necessary to bring certain staff or otherwise. What impact will Putra 35 have on Malaysia's economy? In what ways will Putra 35 drive growth across sectors? How is Putra 35 set to transform Malaysia's business landscape? Money Matters with Teraju CEO Junadi Nawawi this Saturday at 5 p.m. on TV3 and stream on Tonton. Moving on, the Perlis Fatwa Committee has declared that the beliefs and teachings of Global Ikhwan Services and Business Holdings GISBH are deviant and un-Islamic. This makes Perlis the first state to declare the organisation as a deviant group, while the Fatwa Committees in Terengganu, Johor and Pulau Pinang consider taking similar action in the near future.
Tentang masalah kesinambungan daripada ajaran Al-Arqam, tentang masalah kunci yang kita putuskan ialah pengajaran mereka ini mempunyai pengkultusan kepada pemimpin, mengkultus cult yang membawa kepada penyimpangan-penyimpangan yang lain. Jadi dengan itu kita akan membawa keputusan ini kepada Duli Yang Maha Mulia Raja Pemerintah.
Among the concerning practices highlighted are the blind veneration of leaders, taking blessings from their physical remains, and fabricating new Sharia rulings to justify their activities. Asri said the committee also found that GISBH's economic practices do not align with Islamic principles. This is due to elements of oppression and enslavement of those involved and the exploitation of members, children, women and families for the benefit of the leaders. Therefore, all teachings, activities and anything that supports GISBH are prohibited, and the committee urges the Muslim community to assist former members wishing to leave.
Dengan fatwa ni kita melarang mereka. Melarang JSB, melarang aktiviti mereka. Tapi dalam masa yang sama kita juga mempunyai gesaan supaya semua masyarakat bekerjasama memulihkan mereka. Memberikan persekolahan yang benar, membiayai mereka yang ingin berubah.
Meanwhile, another son of the chairman and CEO of GISBH, along with another son of the late founder of the Ban al-Arqam sect, Muhammed, has been arrested by police. The duo, both 32, were among 7 more people detained in raids from Thursday night to early Friday morning.
All 7 men, aged between 24 and 35, were remanded at the Shah Alam's Magistrates Court. Inspector General of Police Tan Sri Razaruddin Hussain said they were remanded for 7 days to facilitate the investigations under the Anti-Trafficking in Persons and Anti-Smuggling of Migrants Act 2007. He said they were arrested in a series of raids in Teluk Kemang, Negeri Sembilan, Termelo Pahang and Pengkalan Cepa, Kelantan between 11 p.m. on Thursday and 4 a.m. on Friday. On Thursday, the Chief Executive Officer of GISBH and his wife were among 19 individuals arrested in Op Global in Kuala Lumpur. On Wednesday, it was reported that 740 statements were recorded in relation to the GISB investigation.
The National Guidelines on Artificial Intelligence Governance and Ethics, AIGE, were launched on Friday to establish a robust framework for users, policymakers and AI technology providers. Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Sri Fadilah Yusof emphasised that AIGE represents the government's commitment to establishing a safe, ethical and public welfare-oriented tech ecosystem.
Speaking at the launch in Putrajaya on Friday, Fadilah said that the AIGE encompasses considerations of safety, privacy, freedom and human rights, all of which must be prioritised for AI usage in the country.
Kita juga perlu memastikan bahawa setiap keputusan yang diambil oleh sistem AI adalah berasaskan data yang tepat dan bebas daripada sebarang bentuk bias yang boleh menjejaskan keadilan dan kesaksamaan.
Meanwhile, Science, Technology and Innovation Minister Chang Lee Kang said that the government is also looking into whether new laws are needed specifically on AI. He added that the government also plans to establish an AI office in November this year to further advance AI initiatives.
To make sure everybody accept this as a common reference or guidelines. So it will take time. In fact, all over the world the same. There is a process. You need to set up a guideline first. Then later, some part of it we might take it as to make it a law.
Also present at the launch was Digital Minister Goh Bing Sing Dio, who said that the AIGE aligns with ASEAN's initiative to develop similar guidelines aimed at promoting coordination of the AI framework among Southeast Asian countries. He revealed his ministry has also proposed the establishment of a Malaysian Data Commission in an effort to ensure more effective data management and protection.
The Yang di-Pertuan Agong Sultan Ibrahim said Malaysia's foreign policy has always favoured a strong partnership with China. His Majesty said this on his maiden state visit to China from Thursday to Sunday at the invitation of President Xi Jinping. Earlier, His Majesty was accorded a state welcome at the Great Hall of the People in Beijing. At the state welcoming ceremony, the national anthems of both countries were played, followed by a 21-gun salute. Sultan Ibrahim, accompanied by Xi, then inspected a guard of honour. Sultan Ibrahim also thanked the President and the government of China for graciously hosting him with generous hospitality and excellent arrangements in the beautiful and great city. On Saturday, His Majesty is scheduled to visit the Beijing COMAC Aircraft Technology Research Centre to observe the latest developments in China's aviation technology. Prime Minister Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim has challenged the opposition to present a motion of confidence in the upcoming parliamentary session on October 14th. Speaking at the Himpunan Gerakan Rakyat event at Axiata Arena on Friday night, he said that the opposition should adhere to the law and noted that he cannot simply resign from his position.
Ada 30 orang, Anwar turun. Negara apa? Sistem apa? Datang ke sini bagi tahu kepada saudara, suruh Anwar turun. Apa saudara jawab kalau dia suruh Anwar turun? Ya, ingat negara dia. Tak ada ikut peraturan, tak ada ikut hukum. Saya bagi tahu kalau betul nak suruh turun, saya yang bawa usul undi percaya.
In his speech, the Prime Minister said that he urged the opposition to do so to prove if he did not help the rakyat. Anwar also said that his job has yet to be completed, as there are still plights that need to be addressed, especially the cost of living. Anwar, who is also the Finance Minister, said that the upcoming 2025 budget will address issues pertaining to the cost of living. Hong Kong jails more people under new law. This and more from the foreign front when Nightline returns.
Funny. Kelakar.
Saya terhibur sangat-sangat.
Ayah masa dekat atas pokok tu, Abang Ropi masa dia tengah feeling K-pop dia yang yang tak boleh nak terbang tu lah. Dekat betul dengan hati.
Saya paling suka yang part yang diorang berlari tu.
Best lah cerita ni, like je.
Jarang dek tengok pontianak yang berat ni dek. Ada plot twist. Saya bagi 10 bintang.
8 lah, 8. 9 kot sebab Pak Ropi.
Yes. 8.5.
Pelat dan gagap boleh memberi kesan kepada keyakinan diri.
Memberi ruang dan masa untuk anak tu bercakap. Jangan cakap untuk mereka, jangan potong cakap mereka.
Adakah terdapat kaitan dengan masalah lidah pendek atau psikologi?
Apa yang berlaku adalah anak dia tak banyak bercakap. Bila nak communicate dengan parents dia tak faham.
Masihkah ada harapan untuk pulih? Hello Doktor menjawab persoalan anda mengenai pelat dan gagap Ahad 5.30 petang di TV3 dan stream juga melalui Tonton.
Welcome back. In China, roads and neighborhoods in Shanghai flooded on Friday as the Chinese megacity was battered by its second typhoon in a week. According to local media, Typhoon Pulasan made landfall on Thursday night with a maximum wind speed of 83 kilometers per hour. Two weather stations recorded over 300 millimeters of rainfall within 6 hours, the highest in their district since records began. Reports said residents were wading through calf-deep water in some neighborhoods, though no severe damage or casualties have been reported so far. The storm is forecast to gradually weaken as it moves inland. However, downpours still continued in the city on Friday morning. Pulasan comes days after Typhoon Bibingka wreaked havoc on Monday as the strongest storm to hit the megacity since 1949. On another matter, China on Friday announced its decision to gradually resume seafood imports from Japan after the Fukushima ban.
According to a foreign ministry statement, China will begin to adjust the relevant measures based on scientific evidence and gradually resume imports of Japanese aquatic products that meet the regulation requirements and standards. The ministry said Chinese and Japanese officials recently conducted multiple rounds of consultations on the discharge of water from the stricken Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power station. It added that Japan had committed to fulfilling its obligations under international law, doing its utmost to avoid leaving a negative impact on human health and the environment, while also conducting continuous evaluations of the impact on the marine environment and marine ecosystems. In 2023, Japan began discharging treated contaminated water from the Fukushima plant into the Pacific Ocean. The release, however, generated a fierce backlash from China, which branded it selfish and banned all Japanese seafood imports.
A Singaporean man wanted for drug trafficking was handed a capital charge on Friday after being deported to Singapore from Thailand. Benny Kee Soon Chuan, who is suspected of supplying drugs to associates in Singapore, was arrested by Thai authorities on Tuesday before being deported and handed over to the Central Narcotics Bureau, CIMB. Assets worth $450,000 were also seized during his arrest, including watches, gold chains, rings and cash in various currencies. His alleged involvement in drug trafficking became known during CNB's investigations into two separate drug trafficking cases in December 2020 and November 2022. Thai media also reported that the man was involved in sending drugs such as ice, ketamine and ecstasy from Thailand to Singapore and Australia via international mail. If convicted, he can be sentenced to death. A Hong Kong court on Friday has sentenced a third person convicted of sedition under the domestic national security law. Ao Kin Wai was sentenced to 14 months behind bars after he pleaded guilty to publishing 239 seditious posts on social media. The court heard the defendant posted 239 largely repetitive videos and images featuring anti-government slogans between March 23rd and June 19th this year. The slogans included statements suggesting peace would return to Hong Kong, Taiwan and the world if Chief Executive Lee, President Xi and the Communist Party gave up their powers. The Chief Magistrate said his posts were a clear challenge to national sovereignty and that his calls to revolution threatened national security. He also highlighted the defendant's contempt of the law with the use of his real name in his social media accounts. National pairs storm into China Open semis. Sports right after this short break.
Budak lipan ni dia tak ada mesin. Dia sentiasa ada tapi dia tengok daripada kuasan. Kuasan tu kata ada lipan kan. Memang dia ada. Banyak sikit memang dia ada.
Mi kari dia lah, paling terbaik lah. Orang kata kalau mana-mana tempat kita pergi memang takkan jumpa lah mi kari orang lipan ni.
Empangan ni sebenarnya kalau ayak penuh dia cantik, dia green, tapi bila ayak surut tu nampak macam lombong lah.
Tu sedih itulah. Tengok bekas tu duk ambil mata. Ingat kubur.
OMG, ramai kata 16 kategori ABPBH 36 tak cukup kan? Jadi kami tambah lagi 5 kategori ekstra di Tonton. Undi sekarang di aplikasi Tonton atau www.tonton.com.my atau imbas kod QR sehingga 30 September ini. Percuma 20 undian dan langgan Tonton Up untuk gandakan undian. Jom undi banyak-banyak sampai favourite korang menang. ABPBH 36 teguh, kita bersama.
And we're back with sports. Badminton, the 2024 China Open. The national contingent continued their winning run after 3 doubles pairs cruised into the semi-finals on Friday.
Men's doubles shuttler Ong Yu-sin, Teo Yi fought back after a slow start to secure a 14-21, 21-17, 21-14 victory over Indonesia's former world number 1 pair, Farjan Alfian, Rian Ardianto, in the quarterfinals. They will play world number 7 pair He Jiting, Reng Xiangyu of China next. Joining them were men's doubles Japan Open champions Go Seifei, Nur Izzuddin Rumsani, who defeated 13th-ranked compatriots Man Wei Chong T Kai Woon 21-19, 21-18 in the quarterfinals. The world number 12 duo will next face Indonesia's Shohibul Fikri, Daniel Martin for a spot in the final. Earlier, mixed doubles shuttler Go Soon Huat, Chevon Lai Jamie also made it into the last 4 after pulling off a sensational 23-21, 21-16 win over world number 2 and home favourites Zhang Zhenbang, Wei Yaxin in their quarter-final clash. Soon Huat Chevon will take on another home pair, world number 22 Shangxing Zhang Qi, in the semi-final. Meanwhile, mixed doubles pair Ho Pan Rong Chen Su Yin's hopes of reaching the semi-finals were dashed after they went down to Indonesia's Dejan Ferdinand Shah, Gloria Emmanuel Wijaja. The world number 32 pair suffered a 14-21 and 9-21 defeat at the hands of the Indonesians in 35 minutes.
Turning to football, the Super League, only one match took place on Friday night. Srif Pahang FC had to be satisfied with a share of points after they were held to a 2-2 draw by Kedah Darul Aman FC. At the Darul Aman Stadium, the visitors took the lead in the 51st minute through Ezekiel Aguero before Abdul Halim Sa'ari drew level for Kedah 6 minutes later. The hosts then made it 2-1 4 minutes after the hour mark through Sukrop Nurulov's effort. The match was about to end when Pahang salvaged a point through Pah Sherman. The draw saw Pahang remain in 6th place with 11 points, while Kedah in 10th with 9 points. Police on the hunt for 3 men over dangerous driving. The details when we come back.
Adakah mesej pemasaran anda mencapai pelanggan yang secukupnya? Ketahui cara menarik perhatian pelanggan sasaran anda di seminar pemasaran wajib hadir percuma tahun ini, Omnia Advantage. Penjimatan sehingga 85% daripada kempen pengiklanan TV anda yang seterusnya. Daftar sekarang di omniaadvantage.com.
Diving deep into the business world
with expert insights and in-depth analysis.
The latest trends and developments shaping the country, region and the globe.
Key insights into finance.
On Money Matters.
Every Saturday at 5 p.m.
on TV3 and stream on Tonton.
Nightline continues. Bank Muamalat Malaysia Berhad President and Chief Executive Officer Khairul Kamaruddin has been named CEO of the Year 2024 by the Global Islamic Finance Awards, GIFA. The award was presented during the 14th Annual GIFA Award Ceremony in the Maldives, held alongside the Global Islamic Finance Summit, GIFS. In a statement, the bank said that the award is a recognition of Khairul's leadership in propelling the bank's emergence as a key player in the Islamic finance sector. It also noted that the accolade is a reflection of the bank's continuous commitment to innovation, customer service and the development of Sharia-compliant financial solutions. Police are actively tracking down the drivers of 3 cars who were driving dangerously on the North-South Expressway heading south in Johor. Kulai Police Chief Superintendent Tan Seng Lee stated that an investigation is ongoing following a complaint about a viral video of the incident which was received by authorities at 5:30 p.m. on Thursday. He added that the 36-second footage showed 2 Ford Mustang GT cars driving recklessly and using the emergency lane while overtaking other motorists at high speeds on the highway. The video was recorded from another car which was trailing closely behind both vehicles and was also seen using the emergency lane. It is understood that one of the drivers has already been identified by police. The case is being investigated under the Road Transport Act. Now, social media influencer Muhammad Hazani, better known as Alif Tega, was charged at the Kuala Lumpur Sessions Court with 2 counts of misusing funds totaling over 60,000 ringgit collected from 2 donation programs in April and June. 30-year-old Muhammad Hazalif pleaded not guilty after the charges were read before Judge Azura Alwi.
For the first charge, he was accused of dishonestly misusing cash amounting to 36,047.35 ringgit for the purpose of iftar donations in Mecca, Syria and Palestine at a bank in Jalan Kerinci, Gerbang Kerinci, Lestari on April 26. For the second charge, he was accused of dishonestly misusing cash amounting to 27,558.13 ringgit for the Jom Joint Korban Meat Donation Program at the same bank on June 15th. The charges were made under Section 403 of the Penal Code, Act 574, which carries a maximum penalty of 5 years imprisonment, whipping and a fine upon conviction. The court granted bail of 50,000 ringgit with one surety for all charges, with additional conditions requiring the accused to surrender his passport to the court and report to the MACC headquarters in Putrajaya monthly. October 21st was set for the next mention of the case.
Ends this edition of Nightline. We leave you with visuals of French wingsuit pilot Ambroise Serrano claiming the target-hitting title at the 10th Wingsuit World Championship at China's Tianmen Mountain. With that, I'm Muhammed. Hamdan. Thanks for watching and have a good weekend ahead.